Hi, I'm Molly Emmons. A Disaster Resource Center is a remarkable coming together of members of the community supporting one another during an emergency. But despite the spirit of hope and relief we create, we still need to be careful about the safety and security of our guests and staff. Today you'll be hearing from Sergeant Brandon White and Sergeant Brandon Pedro of the Multnomah County Sheriff's Office. What they have to share with you today is going to help you safeguard guests, staff, and even yourself. So thank you for taking the time to learn about safety and security in the DRC before a disaster. Don't forget, this is part of a series all about operating disaster resource centers, and we have lots of other topics you're welcome to check out. Okay, let's go see Sergeant White.
Hi, I'm Sergeant Brandon White with the Multnomah County Sheriff's Office, and welcome to my office here at the Multnomah Building. I'm here to help you gain some new approaches and skills for keeping everyone in the DRC as safe as possible. When we first arrive at a DRC site, the team does a safety and security check. Before we even go inside, we walk all the way around and check out the exterior of the building and look at the outdoor environment with a focus on safety. Sometimes we need to do a bit of work on the facility to help bring it up to the level of safety and security that we need. One of these priorities is to ensure accessibility, which you'll hear about in the segment on older adults and people with disabilities. The other things we pay attention to are lighting, layout, and signage. These things help make the space safe and secure, but the people skills are the biggest component of safety and security, so that's mainly what we'll be talking about today. In my world, we use the term situational awareness, paying careful attention to the environment and the emotions and actions of the people around you. In the DRC, this perfectly fits with our framework of look, listen, and link. We pay attention to what we can see, we truly listen to the people and understand their concerns, and we proactively link to other resources before a problem becomes more serious.
Hi, I'm Brandon Pedro, and welcome to my office in the Multnomah Building. In a minute, we're going to talk about de-escalation, which you may have heard about before. Sometimes we can de-escalate a situation before there even is a situation. For example, when you see a long line of people, you can help prevent a situation from escalating by visiting the line and using look, listen, and link. Disabilities and age can make long lines more than just uncomfortable. So looking for people who may need to sit or hydrate and then bringing them a chair of water can help prevent a serious situation. Simply greeting people in line and letting them know next steps and estimated wait times might be just what someone needs to hear. These types of things can make big impacts and can actually de-escalate a situation. In other segments, we've talked about the Emergency Operations Center, the EOC. That's a place where the entire emergency process is being coordinated. When you're working in the Disaster Resource Center, you're part of the eyes and ears of the EOC. One thing an EOC needs to know is how many people are at the DRC. And that's one of the reasons why we take a census every so often and report it back to the EOC. How often you do your census will depend on your DRC's procedures. The census is how we make sure we have enough supplies, like food, water, or sleeping mats, and helps identify specific needs. For example, if we have a lot of children, pets, or older adults, we may need special services or supplies. Census taking also provides us with life safety information in case the DRC itself needs to be evacuated, because it allows us to make sure everyone is safely outside. And of course, the census also communicates our capacity, which helps the EOC prevent overcrowding by activating additional disaster resource centers if needed.
Being out and about in the DRC is important. Being visible and available increases the level of safety, as well as the feeling of safety for our guests. It also lets us be there for people when they need us, and it lets us look, see what's happening, and intervene before a situation gets out of hand. There are some minor problems that you'll identify as part of being out and about that will need some creative solutions. Are some people having a really good time loudly? Finding them a space away from others is a great solution that both encourages community and helps the shared space stay as relaxing as possible. DRCs have rules and guidelines based on safety. One important rule is that DRC staff need to keep information about people in the DRC confidential. Never provide information about anyone in the DRC, even if someone says they're a family member.
We also keep the sign-in sheet to ourselves so that we're not exposing the names and personal information of everyone who has signed in to other people as they sign in. Sometimes animals can create a safety concern for some guests, even when they are well behaved. I like to remind animal owners that some people staying in the DRC might be afraid of even small pets. Stay vigilant and pay attention to human and animal body language alike. And if someone seems uncomfortable, have a conversation about how you can increase the feeling of safety. Before you start your shift at the DRC, you'll have a briefing. Sometimes during the briefing, you'll get a tour of the DRC. If not, take the time to walk around the entire building. Get familiar enough with the building so that you could draw a map of the inside and outside. Find out if there are any restricted areas, where they are, and who's supposed to have access to them.
DRC staff wear vests, and vest colors show each DRC staff member's role. Guests are sometimes given wristbands that provide them with access to the dormitory area, the children's area, and other spaces in the DRC. Make sure you know about these identifiers like wristbands and vests, and what areas should be accessed by which people. You might be assigned to monitor laundry, bathroom, and shower areas, or other areas like exterior trash and recycling, where you can't always see what's going on. If you're not comfortable confronting someone who's not following the rules, let your supervisor know. Other segments in this series will help you contribute to the DRC in lots of different ways, and remember that you're part of a very large team of people. Support is just a personal way, so feel free to ask for help or guidance whenever you're unsure about how to handle a situation.
Remember that working with kids requires 2 background-checked staff. There are lots of reasons why it's helpful to know which DRC staff and volunteers have a background check. So talk to your supervisor and find out who has this extra safety and security confirmation. Knowing the DRC schedule can help you figure out if an activity is appropriate or not. But if you're concerned about anything, let your supervisor know. We all have natural instincts related to dangerous situations, so pay attention to yours. DRCs are just like a small city or community, and they often include a really diverse group of people. Potentially inappropriate, offensive, or hurtful things may be said or done, especially with so many people in direct contact with one another. So, de-escalation is everyone's responsibility. It's your responsibility, and it's even a responsibility of guests. De-escalation is often necessary because people needing DRC services have experienced some form of loss or uncertainty, and they're in an unfamiliar environment with unfamiliar people. De-escalation is an approach to working with people that maintains safety by validating their feelings and actively listening to their frustration. You do this through conversation and, most importantly, active listening. Be empathetic and non-judgmental. Remember to also set and maintain good, clear boundaries. Sometimes it can be difficult when someone is yelling or blaming. When it gets difficult for me, I remind myself why I'm there. That it's because I chose to be there and because I want to help people. When you need to de-escalate, respect personal space. Use non-threatening body language and be prepared for challenging questions. You might remember from our segment on trauma-informed care that when people are experiencing trauma, they don't always think rationally, and emotions can be pretty strong during disasters. A big part of de-escalation is self-management. Keeping your mind stable and relaxed will help you bring people back to a calm and stable frame of mind. Finally, don't forget that you're not on your own. Personnel trained in conflict resolution and de-escalation can be requested from the EOC if you have a problem your staff just can't handle on your own.
All right, so that's it for today. I hope you're feeling confident that you can help keep the DRC more secure and provide safety for our guests. Our biggest points today were to get to know the DRC inside and out, to practice de-escalation and self-management wherever things become or could become heated. And always tell your supervisor if you have a situation you're not comfortable handling. Don't forget that we have a whole series of training all about operating a DRC, and you're welcome to check out any of our other topics as well. Thanks for watching.